All right, so green, black, Citadel. For people that have been following the arena content for a little bit, this one's going to definitely look like a blast from the past. So for people that haven't seen this deck before, let's give a quick rundown on what this deck's looking to do. So this is an infinite combo deck. So the card Bolas' Citadel here says you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play the top card of your library by casting it by paying life instead of by paying its mana cost. So how do we go infinite? We get this card into play, and then with Path of Discovery, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, it explores. And then by having a bunch of creatures that explore in conjunction with the card Wildgrowth Walker here, we get to play through the entirety of our deck, exploring lands to our hand and casting more spells and gaining more life. And we can loop through our deck an unlimited number of times because using the Explore triggers, we put Gaea's Blessing into our discard pile, which shuffles our discard pile back into our deck. And then Bolas' Citadel activates by sacrificing 10 permanents to deal 10 to your opponent. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to gain a bunch of life. And what we do is when there's a Bolas' Citadel on top of our deck, while we have a Citadel in play, you cast the second Citadel, hold priority, and then sack this one and 9 other permanents while the second Citadel's on the stack. So you drain your opponent for 10. And then the new Citadel comes into play, and you loop through your deck, getting more permanents back out again. And then you do that again, and you keep doing that until your opponent's dead. So you kill your opponent in 10 chunk increments by looping through your deck and sacrificing your Citadel in play while the next one's on the stack. Now, one of the reasons why this deck's kind of novel and neat is because we're not all in on this combo plan. So our combo pieces here are Wildgrowth Walker, Merfolk Branchwalker, Jadelight Ranger, Wayward Swordtooth, Doom Whisperer to help set up the top of our deck. So this deck is just a mid-range deck that also has this kind of combo engine wrapped up into it. So we're not all in. We're not like Nexus of Fate where we just like spin our tires until we can combo. We actually get to like play an actual like honest game of Magic until we go, oops, kill you. Yeah, and that's exactly the purpose, Ghosted. Like, by asking people to think about why they think something is good, a lot of the time, if you can't come up with the reason for why you think something's good, it's probably not worth discussing. And there are a number of times where people do have very good reasons for why it's worth trying something, and then we get to engage and actually have a discussion about it. Can this deck realistically beat Soul Sisters Game 1? I mean, in theory, yeah. Not all of your permanents are creatures, so yeah, it would take a while, but you can theoretically beat them Game 1. Who hurt you, opponent? What was their name? Unsure, Paper Skate. I was originally going to do Modern this morning, but Moto is currently in the middle of 9 hours of downtime. So I might just do a little bit longer stream and do 4 decks on Friday and fit Modern in to start on Friday. But as of this very moment, I don't have an answer. I woke up this morning and discovered Moto had downtime and had to quickly make a change for today. Some folks were asking about the split of mana creatures in this deck, so I've elected to play Arboreal Grazer and then a couple of geese. And the reason for this split is in large part due to the fact that I think aggressive decks tend to be very good in this format. So Land War Elves I think is definitely better if you're just trying to linear people. But there's more to, like, this deck plays a defensive mid-range plan, which Goose and Grazer are better in. in. Getting this to a 4/3, so we can attack through Fey Wishes here is also useful. Veil of Summer is not banned in this format. I just don't think, in my experience, the types of decks that Veil of Summer is good against tend to be good matches for this deck. So I don't think it's a worthwhile use of my sideboard slots to include that card in the 75. And a card like Duress is good in similar matchups to Veil of Summer, and Duress is also good against combo decks. I mean, they could have Ritualist here, right? Yeah. That's a good one. I like how I targeted myself and it offered me my opponent's graveyard to start. That's just like good programming right there. Let's spin that. If they don't have a counterspell or a discard spell here, the Citadel could easily take over the game next turn. I suppose they could also have a Bedevil if they have a black or red source. What you doing over there? Okay, well, you know. Wildgrowth Walker is actually a pretty okay draw. Hitting the second Citadel here isn't terrible, considering I expect my opponent's deck to be able to take this off the table. Your odds of comboing off the turn you put Citadel out, especially if you don't have the enchantment or Wildgrowth Walker in play already, are pretty low. So all things considered, I'm like not super sad to see this on top of the deck. Correct, yes, especially if you play to land the turn and don't have like Swordtooth or something in play. It's a very good start. So, again, ideally, they're not going to get a turn here. If we run good, they're not going to get a turn. That's unfortunate. So they have Ritualist in their hand, which is why I didn't play out this one. So we hit a pocket of lands there. And unfortunately not going to get to keep going. That being said, this Wildgrowth Walker in hand does mean we get a chance to recombo them next turn. So like they're gonna hit us down to 19, they're gonna play Ritualist it, but this game's not over. Like if we hit the enchantment on top of our deck, Journey to Discovery, we could definitely go off next turn. Yeah, the castle is definitely far from free, but I think it was worth it to try and go. Okay. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh. I think we're good. I'd be surprised if we can lose at this point. Yeah, Fabled Passage is also great in this deck. Yeah, this should just be a good game. So we can now pay 2 life to surveil. And again, the way this deck works, we're gonna kill them this turn. I love when we get to do the thing right away. Makes me happy. Do 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 Okay, I would like to put Gaea's Blessing back into my deck, and then probably two Wildgrowth Walkers. There's another Swordtooth. Oh, are they dead already? They are dead already, aren't they? That's sad. I just wasn't paying attention. I was just so happy to be drawing cards, chat. I was just so excited at the prospect of getting to draw that many cards. I just like completely neglected the fact that we had just like attacked them a couple of times. All right. So generally speaking, I like boarding out mana creatures against the control decks and just like bringing in interaction. So I think we cut the geese and the grazers. We just bring in Duresses and trophies. Bye, Xantine Pundit. Thanks for the 3rd of year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I do in fact enjoy drawing cards. Tis a pastime of mine. So I'm cutting a bunch of creatures. I'm gonna trim one once upon a time. This seems good. That game was a great example of not only what our failure rate looks like, but also how great our recovery can be. This hand obviously needs to draw some lands, but you don't make your hand better against a Duress Thought Erasure deck by mulliganing. You got Scry lands here on the draw. Do not need a 3rd dino. Dealer's choice. Playing this in paper when? Well, Historic doesn't really have paper support, right? How close is Arena to what you imagine your head an MTG online client should be? I mean, in terms of actually how Arena actually allows you to play Magic, Arena is honestly better in terms of how it allows you to play Magic than I ever expected digital Magic to ever be able to be. It's just so incredibly smooth in so many ways. That was a good draw. I think I just take their Thought Erasure, right? I guess I could take their Narset. Their hand just doesn't really do much after that, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna take their Narset, actually. Let's let some Thought Erasure my other Swordtooth, but I'm pretty unlikely to have too many lands to ramp with it anyways. Trimming the creatures, does it make that the Explorer chain lower chance overall? It does, but post-board against interactive decks like this, my opponent's deck is more likely to be able to disrupt my combo plan. So, like, trying to maximize my combo plan in a game where I'm likely to be disrupted isn't super great to begin with. Narset finds them action. Is the thing. I would, if you have access to a computer or can load my stream in your mobile browser on desktop mode, I would definitely recommend subscribing through the Twitch site and not directly in the Twitch mobile app. Because if you subscribe directly on the mobile app, there is an upcharge. So Google and Apple have to take their cut. Ooh, Grafdigger's Cage is a real hate card against us, huh? That could be something they have here. I do have 3 copies of Assassin's Trophies in my deck right now, but Cage does just stop this from working, right? It is, in fact. Maybe I just want 4 trophies in my sideboard because of that card. Well, there's still 2 turns off of that. Seems they charge the same to me. Did they change it? It was previously $6 to subscribe on mobile. Did that change? Yes, that changed. Yeah, I have Brontodons in my sideboard, dude light. I don't think I can afford to leave that second Citadel on top of my deck here. This hitting our health total is also super relevant here. Well, this gives them the land to cast the Chandra. Historic definitely feels much different than this current standard format. Definitely think that is accurate.
Let's start at a sizzle and see if you make it. Everyone knows the bigger explosions are more fun.
Okay, is your last one good? It's pretty good. Any cost, chat. Any cost. Thanks for the 7 months, Third Degree. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Got me for exexies. That was the. I'm confident. I'm confident that was optimal. Pretty confident that was optimal. Consideration to top the surveil. I don't know what that means. Yeah, the start is very good. The second green source here, also great draw. As you will. Castle Locthwain, very good against these control decks as well. Well, the last game I literally couldn't cast the Doom Whisperer without dying, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, and the Doom Whisperer got bedeviled. Am I supposed to pay 2? I don't know. Every point of life really matters there. I've been watching other streams and have been extremely surprised how silent most of the top Magic streamers pay no attention to the absolute atrocity that is the software. They'll sit there and start a Frozen Screen for 30 seconds where they wouldn't lose. I'm surprised. I don't, oh, you mean other people? I think other people, I don't know, like, I think most of the larger people do talk about issues that Arena has. I don't think it's fair to say. Yeah, that's a real question. Do we play around with Ritual? I feel like because I drew this, I do. I think I'm just gonna pass here. I mean, they had Soot in their main deck. Yeah. No, I don't think it's worth paying 5 life or 4 life to draw at that point. Especially with the Doom Whisperer in my hand. Once Upon a Time is really good in this deck. Can you explain why? Because I actually don't think it's that good. I almost didn't include it. The fact that it doesn't find most of our combo pieces is a big deal. Hey, morning, Lance. What is your Fae of Wishes finding? Tamio, sure. I assume they're gonna pick Cast Down back up here and kill my demon again. You were right. It's an extra $1 to sub on mobile. Yep. I wish they made that more clear. And just for the record, like, that extra $1 doesn't support the streamer anymore. That extra $1 literally just gets absorbed by the big corp. Whoo! Oh, punted. All right, I deserve that. I deserve that. Should have been it. That's fine. It only cost me a life, right? It only cost me a life. Yes, yeah, you also experience that upcharge every... You experience that... Oh, we're about to get Casualty of War and just concede. Yeah, that card's vomit-inducing. Didn't matter. I'd have put the Duress in my discard pile with my Explore trigger, 3rd degree. So I had the option to not draw that Duress. Hey, thanks for the half a year, Quinner. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Soot, yep. Alright, if we draw Citadel next turn and we have an exceptionally good turn, we could be okay. But the window's gonna close very quickly because they're gonna get to... Oh, they get to play this and flip it this turn, right? Sure. That's sweet. And this brings back Tamiyo, and then Tamiyo brings back a thing. Seems good. Yeah, pretty much every deck, pretty much every standard deck that can cast casualties, Tumos should have casualties in it. The card's very, very good. Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. This deck, any good? No idea. That was the first match that we've played. We're very bad against Casualties of War. Turns out my deck with artifacts and enchantments not great against Casualties of War. Opponent. The start of match disconnect timer is way too high. The amount of time it takes to match loss or game loss somebody at the start of a match when you like queue up and just walk away from your computer takes forever. Because like they get a tick down to choose player draw, and then they get a hand, and then you get to keep, then they get another tick down again. I mean, getting your Planeswalker killed by casualty actually isn't that bad, because most of the time your Planeswalker at least got some value out of it. So yeah, I'm going to keep this, but now I have to like sit here and wait for my opponent's timeout again. Thanks for the 3 months, Dad Confidant. Can't think of anything smart, so I will shill this stream is great, buy its stuff. Excellent advice. I'm going to be honest, Beerburger. I play a lot of Magic Arena. It's not clear to me how the disconnect timer works. All I know is, visually speaking, there's no clear indications of what's going on. So, that lack of communication on the client's part feels real bad. Oh, are they here? Looks like some Gruul aggro. Against the aggressive decks with this archetype, you generally board out some of your combo in this deck, and you just turn into like a mid-range deck with removal spells. So I'll probably be boarding in like Disfigures, Cast Downs, Assassin's Trophies here, maybe some Thrashing Brontodons as blockers. The Wildgrowth Walker package in general should be very good in this matchup, but not when the opponent has a really aggressive start in the play and we don't have a Wildgrowth Walker in sight. No 1-drop from us also isn't stellar on our end. Oh, I should have gotten a Swamp here, right? This thing's triple black eventually. Was kinda hoping for a spell there so I could trade Branchwalker for a Spellbreaker. We're definitely going to trade it for Burning Emissary if they offer. Man, who's got 2 thumbs and is ready to get Ember Cleaved? This guy right here. Thanks for the 15 months. It's me. Welcome back. Definitely bringing in Brontodon. Leave it to Cleaver. Here, Cleveland is nice this time of year, chat. Well, unfortunately, I don't know. We don't really have outs here, right? Yeah, never not dead to Team or Battle Rage. Basically the TLDR. What else do I want to trade? I just got all the Citadels. It might just be all the Citadels, honestly. Just go full green-black Explore mid-range. We're pretty unlikely to have enough health total to leverage this card. And if we have enough health total to leverage that card, we're probably winning the game anyways. Back when this deck was in Standard, we always cut the entire combo package against aggro. I have no idea what's good, bad, or otherwise in Historic. And anybody who's trying to tell you otherwise is probably just trying to sell you something. Unlike this format is likely going to be even slower to solve than Pioneer is. Just because we're not getting league data, we're not getting PTQ data, there's no large events for this format. I mean, people try to sell themselves as an authority figure that you should listen to. There's definitely a large segment of people who frequently give opinions that are founded on very little that often end up being wrong. Because they just don't want to say, I don't know, we have to wait and see. I don't know, we have to wait and see is often the correct answer to, like, what's happening in a given Magic format or Magic in general. There isn't really a substitute for hard work in Magic. Swordtooth's actually pretty good with this start. If these Explore creatures can find some lands, we can hit the City's Blessing pretty quickly and turn this into a real 5/5. Gosh, remember when your 5/5s for 3, you had to work for them? They didn't get to attack or block. If this card was printed in Eldraine, it would totally get to block without the City's Blessing, wouldn't it? Do we get any new tech for this deck at Eldraine? We did not. We're basically just playing the standard deck with Once Upon a Time. Yeah, I guess Castle Locthwain. Castle Locthwain's a new one. That's true. Might have been right to bottom this just because I've already played 2 of my 8 explore creatures here. Sure. This doesn't really make their attacks that much better. They have another Zombies ambush, we could be in trouble. Because if they ambush like this here, I can't double block this anymore. Lava Coil's not really a big deal. Easy double block here. Now, part of the problem with boarding the way in which I have here is in situations like this, I don't have a go over the top card like Citadel. So we're just like hoping to draw. I guess we have a demon. If we get a 6/6, yeah, Doom Whisperer is pretty good here. Can't cast it this turn, but will likely be the biggest one on the dance floor here. Hopefully they don't have Collision Colossus in their deck. Yeah, I think my opponent should attack with their 3/3 there. I agree. They missed 3 points of damage. When do I crack the passage? When I need the mana. This card's so good. So I can, like, trade my 5-drop for their 2-drop. Yeah, we're pretty dead. Let me go ahead and go on to the next one. And take 2. Yeah, trade my 5-drop for your 2-drop, take 2. Doesn't sound particularly exciting. Okay. Bob Doom Whisperer here. Hand's pretty good. Once upon a time, there was a format where you should be playing green cards. I wonder how long it's going to take them to have any sort of management in this format. Wonder if we'll see Once Upon a Time actually get taken out of the format. Helm of the Host is playable. That citation needed. I would like it if they'd ban Valen once. I would start there and feel things out. I would start with Valen once and see how everything else shakes out from there. Well, shoot, chat. Well, shoot. Does that look like an elk to anybody else? You squint a little bit.
Every tale about me is absolute nonsense. I think a little merriment is in order.
Watsy called, they need you to pick Pioneer bands for today. Thoughtseize and Once Upon a Time. I'm actually gonna wait to block with this, so I want this to hit the City's Blessing. Oh, that's unfortunate. Huh. I guess I should have fetched black. I should have thought about this. I should have fetched black. In my opinion, Thoughtseize and cards like it do not generate good games of Magic the Gathering, and they generate terrible games from a game theory standpoint. In my opinion, cards that all they serve to do is restrict the game actions of one player are not good game design, and in general should be avoided. Alright, what do we got? We got 6 mana for a creature, eh? Path of Discovery does stack, but I don't really need a second one right now. Especially if this Bolas' Citadel is going to turn into an elk. Yes, Ghalta is legal in this format. Put on y'all true shape. All right, if we're a little bit lucky, we could win the game this turn. Need a Wildgrowth Walker. That's like being the opposite of a little bit lucky here. I think I'm just gonna play Overgrown Tomb and pass. I don't think it's worth paying 6. They're gonna get to elk this, but I'll just like cast the other one next turn. Thanks for the biddies, Cody. Yes, yeah, exactly. The Citadel on top means we get another shot at it next turn. Is exactly correct. And like, I've already made 1 land drop for the turn, so every extra land drop you have remaining in a turn makes it more likely that you're able to combo off. This is gonna eat my Gilded Goose. Nobody really knows what's viable or not viable in Historic currently.
Welcome to the feast.
Oh, they're just planning on killing me. Interesting. Just actual 0 respect. Got it. Hopefully we can teach them why that's a mistake next turn. Okie doke. Not guaranteed to go off from here, but pretty likely. Swordtooth is great. And then I can play this, which gains me life from this, which lets me draw this, and then I get to play another land as well. Alright, so this series should likely mean they're dead if they don't have any interaction here. Yep. Yeah, once was very good there, worth noting. We'll get to go ahead and bin this Gaea's Blessing, which is how we keep going for forever. Whee! Alright, triggers. In my opponent's defense, I assume they had no idea what our deck is doing here, so like the fact that they didn't respect the Citadel isn't a huge surprise. Hey, JD Square, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Oglandia. Hope you're having an excellent Monday wherever you're at. Dude Face Petro, thanks for your 11 months. How we doing, folks? Yeah, so for people that weren't here at the start of this segment, the way this deck works is when you get going like that with Path of Discovery and Wildgrowth Walker, you can actually loop through the entirety of your deck as many times as you want. And as you loop through your deck, you activate Citadel over and over and over again, killing your opponent. So the higher their life total is, the more looped through your deck it's going to take to kill them. But you can eventually kill them with Citadel. So, Trophy and Spyglass to help deal with Oko. And then what are my trims here? If a card gets stuck on your screen like that, that is a bug with the overlay widget that happens on occasion. You should refresh your browser page or load and unload the tool. Load and unload the extension. And clicking on the widgets on the right side of the screen. Hey, Tobias, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Nope, the Bezo Bucks emote's been there for a while. It is a good one, though. I agree. Hey, thanks for the 4 months, Sam. Sarah Medic. I appreciate that. Morning, Branch. Yeah, I think Green Stompy's pretty good. I think there's probably a good chance your Green Stompy deck should be splashing for Oko. But definitely a lot of good green cards in there. I don't know. A lot like the previous standard format Foxicon, I think there's a variety of things they could ban today in Pioneer to fundamentally push the format in different directions. And which of those are optimal or correct definitely depends on, like, what their internal data looks like. Like, one of the things people need to understand is, like, when you're randomly needling content creators, asking them to predict the future, we don't have the tools that Wizards of the Coast has to make accurate and good decisions. think I'm gonna trophy this in response when it tries to fight my thing. If you kill it before it fights, the fight doesn't happen because it's dead. Of course, Fem. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping us around. Alright, if Walker survives another turn here, we get to Once Upon a Time into a creature, hopefully, and get that going, and then we can Citadel the following turn. This is a post-board game, so there's the possibility of, like, negates, Disdainful Strokes, and Spell Pierce out of the opponent here. Things that are relevant to remember. That's really unfortunate. So we're hoping to Once Upon a Time into another Wildgrowth Walker at this point. Yeah, I mean, the deck has put up a couple of results at paper tournaments, Admiral.
You picked the wrong fight.
Anima, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So, 6 shots at a Wildgrowth Walker here. Alright. Gonna be a little bit short of hitting the City's Blessing here. So we're hoping to find a Wildgrowth Walker next turn on top of our deck with Citadel. Why isn't Teamer Flash a thing? Because the mana's not consistent enough, I would imagine. The green cards you want for the Flash deck require green, so you can't just, like, splash into green. You have to be full on in green. Which comes at a very real cost.
This'll be fun to watch.
Real shame we only have 8 permanents at the moment. Or like mousing over the Swordtooth just to make sure it can't block before they shove in here. Down to 6. Once Upon a Time is a deeply offensive Magic the Gathering card that just should not exist. It is a card that gives a single color an increased added amount of consistency that's very strong, that makes that color combination more consistent than every other color combination. If we could just shift delete that card for Magic the Gathering, I would shift delete that card for Magic the Gathering. Alright, so we need Wildgrowth Walker, like, on top of our deck next turn, and if that happens, we could have a shot here. If Once didn't have the free to cast, would it be playable? Probably not. Oh no! We were so close, chat! We were so close, chat! Did I take an extra point of damage at some point this game? I don't think we did. I don't think we did. Such a tease. Such a tease. That's fine. I'm gonna click submit for the 3rd game. Click submit. You could have shuffled with Passage instead of casting Grazer. I don't think that's optimal though, Fearburger. The Grazer gives me a look. I should have shuffled the Swordtooth. The Swordtooth I should have shuffled because I couldn't cast Wildgrowth Walker at that point. The Grazer was correct to play because I could still cast Wildgrowth Walker at that point. So the Swordtooth, I should have played Passage and shuffled away. That's a good observation. We're not guaranteed to hit the Wildgrowth Walker at that point, but we'd have a shuffle to get it as an out. So that's a good observation. Actually, did I have a land drop still? I don't remember. I might have only been able to play that Fabled Passage because I played the Swordtooth. I don't remember now. Did I already had 2 Swordtooths in play, right? So I still had a 3rd land drop. I don't remember. I might have still had a land drop regardless. I don't recall. Alright, playing Oko so I can trophy it. Hey, Wolfie, thanks for keeping me around for the entire year. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's real awkward for the way we talk about knighting here, that the, like, Twitch gives you the icon early. This is definitely one of those awkward games where Grazer's a lot worse than a Land War Elf. Oh, I probably should have played this too, right?
With the arcbow at my side,
Eh.
I can't lose a fight.
I can't lose a fight.
We're fit enough to survive.
Feel pretty dead. Quiet Kieran, thanks for the half a year support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This had been a Land War Elves, we'd just be 1 land off of casting the Citadel next turn. But because it's a Grazer that requires an additional resource, we're still pretty far off. Yeah, we ran into Nexus while we were playing Elves earlier today. Archetype's definitely present in the format, but not like overbearing, it doesn't feel like. People playing it, but it's not like every other match. I think there's a lot of good tools for the good decks to fight next in this format. Whether it's Bone Crusher Giant Stomp preventing fogs, or Questing Beast preventing fogs. A lot of reasonable things to interact on that axis. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now. So if we draw a... If I draw a land next turn, we can go land, Swordtooth, enable the city's blessing. I mean, my favorite interactive tools are the ones that the deck's already playing, Scottish Reaver. That matchup was hard for Yarok in Standard. It's probably honestly harder for Yarok now than it was in Standard because of Veil of Summer. Really hope they ban Veil of Summer in this format. It's another one of those cards that just like should probably be shift deleted out of Magic's history. It's like this thing is not okay, please get rid of it. Give it the Gitaxian probe. Well, I can force them to pop Brontodon next turn if we draw a land. But Brontodon probably prevents us from doing anything too extreme. Russian Spoon, thanks for the 3rd of a year. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Thanks for keeping me around. Really? Okay. They're just gonna get aggressive here then? Well, if I draw a land next turn, there are a combination of cards on top of our deck here that could kill them. because they sacked the Brontodon. I think while Veil is legal, if the Nexus player is playing an appropriate number of Veils, I would be surprised if Yarok is ahead against Nexus of Fate. I'm going to gain 3 here just because my life is how we're going to cast spells next turn, so let's draw an untapped land, cast Citadel, and hope to run good. Hit like enchantment into Wildgrowth Walker, and then go from there. Or Wildgrowth Walker into Jadelight Ranger. But like, trying to figure out how they want to tap for this Graces, like what mana they want to leave up. Maybe they have a negate or something they want to leave up in their hand. Yeah, they must have a counter spell, huh? We didn't hit anyway, so it doesn't matter. Needed land there. If we hit land, we could have turned on the City's Blessing, but we didn't, so we did. Yeah, probably Spell Pierce. It didn't matter that we didn't find the land anyways. Let's try one more with this one. Even if we're not winning matches, we're on the rank floor, and I like comboing with this deck. It's incredibly satisfying to draw a bunch of cards. Okay, yep. Hand's got stuff to get going. Is worth noting that in terms of matchup variance, my selection of Mana Dorks has not been great. Definitely think with the selection of decks we've played against today, these Arboreal Grazers would have been much better off as Land War Elves. And again, that's just kind of guesswork. Like if you're playing against aggressive things, Arboreal Grazer is definitely the better accelerant, like, you know, mono blue, mono red, white aggro, knight, stuff like that. But if you end up not queuing into those things, you're better off having played Land War Elves. It makes mana on its own instead of needing another card alongside it. Maybe I should have taken the demon there instead of the extra land. So yeah, even without this land, I had 5 mana sources plus an explorer. And the demon can help me dig to a Citadel. Naya Feather, maybe? That's an archetype that would probably be fun to explore in this format. That was one I thoroughly enjoyed when it was standard legal. Water spells, baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. It's a lot of colors you got there, opponent. I'm gonna keep the Sloth back rather than being cheeky. They could have a haste creature. Oh, there's a field of the deck. Yeah, that makes sense. Wonder how this matchup goes. I feel like on the surface, we probably have okay tools to be competitive here. Just because they're not super interactive. That being said, our current lack of spells is not doing us any favors. Yeah, yeah, exactly. If they're not playing Kenrith to, like, haste their stuff, they give us a turn to go. I think I'm actually just gonna gain some life here. Just because our health total is gonna be a resource later. If we don't need extra food. Well, it's the one we wanted for Christmas. Take me down to Brick City. Thanks for the 5 months there, returning Dawn. Thanks for returning. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Opponent should probably rejuvenate her before they Fabled Passage, right? So they could find another Field of the Dead. So if they find Field here, they're down a zombie. Block. Hey, Snake TV, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate you shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, looking for a Wildgrowth Walker. Hey, look at that. Alright, and then we're looking for a Journey to Discovery. Shillings don't bump anymore. They do. If you're on mobile, it might not be showing up for you, but they do still bump. Huh? I think I'm supposed to play Swordtooth here because I'm so low on life. Because, like, if I Doom Whisper, the odds I can Doom Whisper and activate it in the same turn and still cast spells are low. Thanks for the 12 months, Guts on Twitch. Welcome back. It's actually pretty close. I haven't played a land yet for the turn either, though. Alright, let's YOLO. Oh, wait, I did play a land already, didn't I? I was thinking I played a land already, and I was thinking I hadn't played a land already, and I definitely had. It's awkward. Alright, I guess I'm just passing that at this point. Yeah, I forgot I played the Overgrown Tomb. Yeah, I think because I'd already played a land, I should have, because I'd already played a land for the turn, I should have waited. Oh, you know what? I should once here, because if I once into a Branchwalker, I can eat the food to cast the Branchwalker. I just passed, because I didn't think I could cast anything after I do this, but I could definitely hit Branchwalker and then cast Branchwalker. If they have a time wipe here, we're going to be in trouble. Yeah, I think I should have taken Swordtooth instead of this. A very real possibility. Alright, so they have the Giant Sweeper, huh? Sad. Yeah, the fact that Goose gained this life is going to be super relevant. I'm actually going to not, so I could cast the Once Upon a Time, but I'm actually going to hold on to the Once Upon a Time, because Once Upon a Time allows me to spend 2 mana to clear a land that would otherwise stop me from comboing off the top of my deck. I think it's right to draw this, to be able to clear past Brick. I'm not gonna have mana to crack that, so I'm just gonna bin it. Okay. 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 We could definitely brick off here, but this is a good series of hits. Now the risk is if there's a land under this, we can't combo. But we also don't die next turn, so I think I just keep this and gain a bunch of life. Because if there's a creature under this, we end up in a very good spot. Sick. YOLO Swaggins. Do 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 do. So finish your whiskey a beer. We could still break here. If there's another land after we shuffle, we could break. If there's another land after we shuffle, we could break. Yep. Okay. So we bricked here. We bricked, but we're at 31, which is again, like, the failure rate on this deck means you end up like I failed the combo, but I'm at 31 and this is my board state. You don't want to play land. Playing a land from my hand to shuffle a land off the top of my deck when I could just play the land off the top of my deck doesn't make sense. I mean, to be fair, the opponent's deck is mostly lands. So, like, when they hit 2 lands on a Golos, that's, like, pretty close to average, right? Hey, they gave me another Explorer. I appreciate you, opponent. You're a giver. Do. All right, so at this point, we're gonna be pretty close to deterministic. I'd be incredibly surprised if we fail to combo them this turn. So again, the way we kill them is with Gaia's Blessing, we can loop through our deck a number of times, and then with a second copy of Bolas' Citadel on the stack, we sack the first one, drain them for 10, and the second one comes into play, and then we use that one to drain them as well. We have to hit all of our lands in a row. Yeah, even then we might still be fine. So bin the Gaia's Blessing here, so it shuffles back in. Like, I currently have 3 land drops. Opponent's had enough. My opinion of Historic so far is big stuff done bigly. It's not entirely inaccurate. How's this deck doing? We've not won a match, but we've had a good time. Which is about the description of the deck from Standard. There's a good chance that, as far as historic decks on my website go, I'm going to take the approach that I have for Modern. I'll probably do this for Pioneer too, where like, I'm going to divide... When we have enough historic decks on my site, I'll break them up into categories. So, like, there'll be a section that's like, these decks are memes, these decks are competitive, these decks might be competitive, but we're not sure, etc. I think is the approach I'm going to take to the non-rotating format section of the website. Yeah, I agree, Steam. That's the most fun part about this deck in general, honestly, is when people, like, have this false sense of security or like, nah, I'll kill you. It's like, actually, you're dead this turn. I think I'm in for Toothy here. I've got these Explore creatures to draw some lands. Hey, thanks for the quarter of a year, Arseny. So I'm going to lead on Fabled Passage here, even though it's tapped this turn. Because all my lands are tapped this turn, and this Fabled Passage can fetch a swamp, which will bring these two into play untapped. Well, that's incredibly rude. Let's fetch with Fabled Passage in response, so we're not incredibly sad. Aladane, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate you shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. All right, am I supposed to trophy that? I feel like I'm supposed to trophy that. I suppose I could Jadelight and just attack it. I'm gonna Jadelight and just attack it. Can I trade my Bezo bucks for thinking time in the corner with Mr. Talkie Box? Man, you definitely can. Thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. This is my opponent's playing Field of the Dead. This is the same match we were just playing. That's pretty unfortunate.
Stand by and watch. I'll protect you.
I'm gonna leave that on top, not because I want to draw it, but because they're milling me with Ashiok anyways. Like smoke, smoke on the water. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right, that's sweet. So let's go. If I hit an untapped land here, I could trophy one of their blockers and then kill their Ashiok. That's unfortunate. If you played Swordtooth, then played 2 lands, then blink Swordtooth to get another land, I believe so. I don't actually know. I'd recommend asking a judge. Yeah, I don't know that sweeper's beatable.
I've got it.
Have an Arboreal Grazer back in your deck. Alright, 26 cards left in my deck. The Swordtooth's gonna get bounced to my hand by Teferi. Ashiok's gonna mill 4 more cards.
Trust me. I have a plan.
I think we're probably dead at this point. Like, I can trophy this to get it out of the way. But they've gone through enough cards out of my deck that I probably can't combo them anymore. Yeah, I don't know, Mail.
I know my responsibility. Here we go.
I don't know that we beat the pile sweepers that they had regardless. they have a time wipe or another Realm Cloak Giant, we're probably dead. Just because the inevitability of field is going to be tough to catch back up from. Probably looking for a second field here, I'd assume. You know how long Magic Online is down for today? It is scheduled to be down for another 4 hours.
Might be a bad idea.
It's down from 3 a.m. PST until noon PST. The hamsters that power the Magic Online server unionize, so they get a 9-hour break every once in a while. I agree. Power to the hamsters. Loki! Thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna trophy this just because they're getting close to being able to activate it. Only a matter of time before the hamster sees the means of server uptime. Yep. You can always type exclamation point. You always go to bit.ly/tuck Tefri to get the Tefri rotation timer. I do also have it here that I can pop up on occasion. 43 weeks. Although he's never gonna rotate in historic, chat. He's here to stay. Isn't he lovely? Don't you love him? I mean, my other Gaia's Blessing hasn't been exiled yet, right? If we hit a Citadel, we could theoretically win this game still. I'm gonna hang on to my shuffle effect for now, because my shuffle effect could be super valuable if we hit a copy of what's it called? Right, that card's legal here. MTGO's just down because they removed the thumb drive with all the data on it to take the day ban lunch. I don't know about that one. It was inescapable. Ba-dum-tsh. All right, this is going to be the last game with this one, I think. We'll take a quick ad break and then we'll come back with some 5-color Niv. Have we gotten a Citadel activation Veil of Summer? Is it really target player? Definitely in for lands. No, it's each. Yeah, it's each. I say I didn't think that one targeted. I don't really have recommendations on headsets. This current one I'm wearing, the sound quality on it's fine, but it does have a similar, it definitely pushes on the glasses a little bit. Big Red, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. I think I want to play Swordtooth here rather than explore right away, because every turn the Swordtooth sits in play, it allows me to dig a little, or get a little bit more ramp on. So like, if this is in play for 2 turns, it gets 2 extra lands, etc. Now we're just looking for a black source in the Citadel. That was neither of those things. Maybe I'm supposed to play the Goose there rather than the Branchwalker, because the Goose would allow me to hit the City's Blessing for this, and it would allow me to, have a 3rd black source in case I rip Citadel next turn. So I think the fact that this provides a third black source means I probably should have played it over the Branchwalker here. Apologies to anyone whose animals just popped up. That was my doorbell, not yours. Okay, untapped black source here isn't a terrible draw. Means that I get to crack this and use Castle to draw a card at end of turn, which gives me 2 shots to draw a... Gives me 2 shots to draw a Citadel.
This isn't a fight you can win.
I never realized how many commercials have doorbell rings in them until I got 2 dogs. Yep. Oh, animals. All right, so now here's a question. Do I gain 3 to deny both of us a draw? Because I can sack this food, removing Time Raveler's only target, and then they don't draw, but then I don't get to activate Castle Locthwain. I feel like that's not worth it. I think I'd rather draw with my castle.
Don't worry, I got this.
The odds we kill them if we get Citadel next turn are pretty reasonable, so I think I want to just prioritize that. Wardav, thanks for the 2/3 of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Gold Golly, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Could we not have drawn? The Goose was summoning. Sick. Full metal. Doom Whisperer not only gives us a lot of looks to try and find Citadel next turn, but it means that if we do find the Citadel, we're incredibly likely to win the game. So that's sweet. That assumes they don't have a time wipe here, though. And they get to activate Golos here, so they get 3 more looks at a sweeper. So if they don't have a sweeper, we're pretty far ahead. If they do have a sweeper, we're pretty likely to lose. Yeah, no whammy. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Excellent binding. Well, that's unfortunate. We're taking my boy away. Wonder how this combo will do in Pioneer. I'd assume it's too slow and fair for Pioneer. The person who submitted this for Historic said they wanted to submit it for Historic or Pioneer with a preference for Pioneer, and I think this combo's borderline too slow for this format. It's definitely too slow for Pioneer. Yeah, where are my Citadels at, chat? Okay, so the Ixalan's binding kind of throws a kink in our plans. It means I have to find trophy, and then I have to find explore creatures. I have two trophies left in my deck. Yeah, I have two trophies in my deck at the moment. They also get to hit me for 8 this turn, which decreases our chances of winning. I am going to throw away Gilded Goose here, because every point of life matters. Could have used the blocking trick there, forgot. Okay. Yeah, we're dead. All right, so all in all, we didn't win a match. Won a number of games in there. Got to pop off a couple of times. I think if this ends up being a thing, it'll definitely just be a meme thing at best. I think the amount of interaction that exists in the format, whether it's casualties of war just giving us the business, or discard spells or counter spells or ways to interact with enchantments. Honestly, one of the things, this is why metagames are very interesting to pick apart, is that because things like fires and wilderness reclamation exist in this format, it actually makes decks like this worse. And the reason for that is because people are prepared to interact with more efficient combo artifact and enchantment-based decks, that means they're going to incidentally be prepared to interact with what we have going on with this. So basically, you don't want to be the second best version of a busted thing, because people are going to be prepared for the busted thing and then incidentally be good against you, even though your deck's not great. So if you're playing a tier 2 strategy, usually you want your strategy to be able to differentiate itself from the other decks in the format that people are already going to be prepared to sideboard for. All right, we've got at minimum 2 more historic decks coming up here today. We're going to dive right into some 5-color Niv up next here. I'm going to get this uploaded to Stream Decker and get my dumpster fire of an arena client restarted. And we'll be back in about 3 minutes with some more historic. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are.